Greetings, everyone. Good afternoon. My name's Tawnya Love, and welcome to our show, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Today, we're going to delve in and connect on the importance of surrendering the egoic mind. And we kind of touched on that a little bit last week, but I feel there's much more that we can go into on ego and the importance of releasing ego at this time. Um, as we're being encouraged to shift in consciousness and shift into new places of being, spaces where we can really tune in intuitively and be more present, it's really important that we surrender the old egoic ways of doing things and the old egoic way of basically an attempt to control energy is where it all began. And the reason that many of us are struggling right now on the planet is because we're still really coming from this space of ego where everything's very intellectual, everything's just about, your role, your title, what your outer appearances are, like all the parts of you that are in the 3D physical so-called reality. And we're really being encouraged to clear that ego so that we can really be more present. And today, I really encourage you to call in if you have any questions or if there's something in particular that you're struggling with or you're experiencing in your own life, or maybe you're experiencing a lot of beautiful shifts because you've released ego. Please do call in because we'd love to hear from you and talk with you live. It's really fun when we hear from you because this show is for you. So you can either write in right there on the screen if you're logged in, just type in your questions or comments. Otherwise, you can call in to 919-518-9773 and just ask us your questions. So I'll just begin. It came to my awareness this weekend of a book that I read years and years ago, and they've made that book into a movie. It's called The Celestine Prophecy. And if any of you have read that book in the past, I encourage you to go find it and reread it because this man, James, wrote this book years ago, and he basically, it was like he was a visionary of what was coming. And as I'm looking out at what's happening on our planet right now, everything he was writing about, it's happening. And that prophecy is really fulfilling itself. And a big part of his book that I feel is so important is the part where he explains the power struggles that humans have been conditioned into. Kind of their behavioral habits is a way to take energy from each other. And it's because many of us are not connecting with source directly. We're not understanding how to fill ourselves up, how to reconnect with source, which is exactly the link to our confidence, to our wisdom, our inner knowing. It's the exact connection that is necessary for health and wellness. And so this ability to connect is in all of us. We all have the opportunity and the potential to connect with source. We all, in fact, are connected to source. If we're living, if we're breathing, speaking, then we're connected to source. However, many of us don't realize that, and so we create something in our minds that creates a sense of separation. And so the belief systems that we attach ourselves to, or any of the inner dialogue that tells us that we're less than, that we're not good enough, we're not quite there, we're not worthy yet. These are all examples of the egoic mind. And so when I'm making reference to the ego or the egoic mind, that's what I'm talking about, is that part of yourself internally. Like when I work with clients and a client says, well, I have this dark voice inside that, tells me these certain things. They refer to it as a dark voice because it feels negative. It's a lower vibrational energy. It's typically focused on fear, and it can be very, very detrimental and damaging to a human's potential, to a soul's full potential of what they're here to give this planet and to share their gifts. And so the reason I feel it's important to address this is for everyone, but I am in the healing world, and as I work with clients as a healer, I sense that so many angelic earth angels that are awakening right now that are feeling led into careers where they will be assisting as a healer or a light worker, um, they really need to understand the importance of clearing ego, because if we're entering into these situations, into these realms without clearing that ego energy, it can really be damaging to ourselves and to others. And I'll give you an example. This is not really necessarily in the realm of like the healing world, but I do look at physical fitness as an aspect of healing. And I've been a personal trainer and a fitness instructor for 16 years. And I recently was hired as the coordinator for a company and to come in and really to, look through my eyes and see, like, what do I notice that could be improved upon in this company? And one of the things I noticed right away is some of the instructors that are really in alignment, they enter, they're one with their class, with their students, they feel connected to them, they encourage them, they speak truth to them and they challenge them, but they also are with them. There's no stimulation of ego or competition happening. And in other classes I took, I realized that the misalignment was there was instructors that were stimulating ego. They were talking down to their students. It was almost like in one class, I felt kind of like I was in trouble. Like, what? Am I in trouble? Like, I just feel like she's mad at me. And so often the ego energy will present itself in the form of a controller, and it will go back and forth between controller and often victim. And the egoic energy is always kind of messing with you internally and saying you're not good enough, so therefore now you're a victim, you have no power. And then it will shoot over to the other end of the spectrum and say that you are superior and you are more than, and it will project its power upon others. And really, no matter which one is happening, it's really not necessary and it can be very damaging. And big picture, if we're, for example, going to take a fitness class and we're new to that class, we've never taken it before, we're kind of maybe shy, we're not sure what we're doing, we hope that, we'll make friends and we hope that we won't hurt ourselves, that we know what we're doing. And so when we enter that space, there's a lot of vulnerability there and there's a lot of courage to enter a space and really, open ourselves up to new experiences. And so I feel an aligned teacher and assistant will really honor that and will really encourage that person to grow and to flow in their full potential and teach them how to do that safely, how to do that with joy and with efficiency. And a teacher that's projecting anger and control is really just showing me that they are not in control of their own energy, that they do not feel confident in themselves, and so that they now feel a need to take the energy from those around them. And so the reason I mentioned the Celestine prophecy is that that book is so amazing in how it explains these power struggles and these power dynamics that happen where we learn them in our childhood on how to get energy. So for some of you, maybe you can relate in your childhood of, you wanted attention from your parents or your teachers or your peers, and in order to get that, you had to be the victim. You have to cry, you'd have to kind of throw a little drama scene, and poor me was the way that you got attention. And for others, maybe that didn't work for you, or you just didn't feel drawn to that way, but you found that being aggressive and overpowering others and intimidating them, that was a way to get the energy you wanted. So you would lash out, you'd be aggressive, and often you learn these behaviors from the misaligned adults in your life. And so most children are going to pick up on this stuff from watching the adults in their life and how they handle energy and how they um, attempt to gather and fill themselves up. And then there's the energy of aloofness where we just, I don't care. I'm just going to pretend I have no interest in that. Nothing you can say will impress me. And all of these energy stealers, I call them, are really not beneficial or necessary. And it really is what's caused a lot of the damage and misalignment across the entire planet. If you think about, you have in relationships, two people in a partnership fighting and, butting their heads for power, And then you can see it in a community when you've got, different community leaders and they're aggressively going at it for power. We can see it on a planetary level with different countries battling with other countries, or religions battling with other religions, or with non-religion. And it's basically outside of us happening all the time because internally it's happening. So, in order for us to clear and shift all this violence and all the aggression and all the misaligned energy that's happening in a physical way externally, it really is going to begin with self. We have to look back internally and we have to clear that egoic energy from inside. And at first, it may seem really frightening for someone to release their ego because they build a lot of themselves up by that. Like, if you really believe that you being the CEO of a company is what makes you important, it's what makes you worthy, it's what makes you, um, you think it makes you more important than another, then if that energy, if that title's taken from you, you will suffer greatly because your ego made you believe that that's, what made you valuable. And so, really, as we release the ego, it's going to create such a cleansing in our spirits so that we can enjoy life and just flow. And that's really what I feel my mission is on the planet, is to help and assist with this way of looking at life with gratitude and joy and enjoying the ride, enjoying the journey. It's really, life is here for us to be enjoyed. And when we're entering life with a clean slate, our energy is clear, we know that we are one with Source. We meditate, we connect with nature, we allow the life force to flow through us and live through us. We really operate at a much higher functioning level. We're in a higher vibration. Things just kind of work out for us when we're in that place. The doors open, the opportunities come in, people are kind. When we are in that vibration, we can see and sense the difference. However, some are still kind of having the courage to cross that bridge from the 3D old egoic way of making things happen and crossing into this more intuitive space of allowing and trusting everything to flow through you. And so I really feel that it's important that we understand that, and that we can see that not only will clearing the ego help us personally, it will help benefit all the relationships in our life, all those that we connect with. We will have more beautiful, authentic relationships from connection rather than these relationships that are superficial and coming only because of a title or because of a projection of power, to where others listen to us because they have to, they're told to. Um, and I think that's kind of, when we look at the old structure, it's kind of like growing up as children, you're told to listen to authority and not question it. You're told to just do what you're told, be seen, not heard. And we see these structures like the military, where in order to get all these beings to fulfill a mission that others think is important, that they want them to do for them, they basically have to put them through a boot camp, and they have to degrade them and break their spirit, talk down to them, make sure they understand the hierarchy so that they won't question authority. And all of this has caused a lot of suffering and a lot of damage. And some people, are doing it still to this day in the military systems, but it's also happening in families. It's happening in, a fitness class. And it's really just not necessary. And we have room for evolution here. We have room to really clear and release this old way so that we can allow space for the new way to enter, where we can sit amongst each other as equals, as one, where we can come from a place of unity consciousness and realize that we are all one, we are all important, we are all connected to Source, we are all one with Source. However, not all of us know that necessarily, and so that's really the difference. It's not, am I superior to another, or are they superior to me? Am I inferior? Are they inferior? It's really, do I understand my oneness? Am I awake? Am I aware? Am I living with awareness? Or do I feel less than, and am I still asleep? Am I still kind of going through the motions and not understanding my direct link with Source, not understanding how worthy I am? And all of this will really affect you in your lives. So, an example we can look at with ego, how it could affect a person. Let's say that you're a healer and you know you have these powerful gifts and there's gifts that you'd love to share with others, yet deep down you feel you're not worthy, whether you're conscious of that or not. Let's just imagine this person is not conscious and aware of that, and they feel they have to just give everything away. They have to just help everyone that comes along, and they don't accept any um, abundance. They don't accept any help back because, no, I'm the healer. Let me help all of you. This will create an imbalance very quickly. And I say this with healers in mind because I know I'll be attracting many healers that will be led here. And the angels told me many earth angels are being summoned to these shows and these broadcasts. So if that's going on with you, realize that you clearing that ego is going to serve you in such amazing ways because it's going to help you to really understand your worth, and it will help you to arrive with a sense of power and presence rather than coming in kind of wishy-washy, doubting yourself, coming in with insecurity, not sure that you're quite good enough yet, which will really get in the way of your listening to intuitive messages. It will get in the way of the energetic flow of even abundance. I see people who are so good at giving, 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 and they really struggle in receiving. And we have to really address this so that we can bring ourselves back to a wholeness. We need to get our masculine and our feminine energies together in balance. And as we bring that balance in, we create what I'm helping with as a healer is as I help a client clear out the ego and the fear, and if they're open to it, if they're ready to align, they have the opportunity to activate their unity consciousness. They activate that oneness and that wholeness, and miracles happen. I've seen miraculous healings physically happen. I've been a part of emotional shifts happening very swiftly, past life woundedness and past life issues that were even unconscious in a human clearing out, and then seeing how their life just took a whole new direction. And so this subtle energy that we're talking about is so powerful, and it's really time that we pay attention to the subtle energies, that we listen to the intuitions, that we honor those with the stillness and with the powerful messages, and that we get out of this space of control and thinking we need to dominate others and make things happen. Whether you're a healer or whether you're a politician or a doctor or lawyer, it doesn't matter. There is an opportunity to connect with your clients, your family, your loved ones from a place of honor and from a place of alignment and integrity and oneness. Or there's the opportunity to stay where we've been and come in there and create separation and create a power struggle and try to talk down and dominate others. And that is something that we've been doing for a long time, so we know how to do that. We're pretty good at that. However, I feel that the reason so many spiritual warriors are on this planet and awakening at this time is that we are here to challenge that. We are here to shine the light on that misalignment and to encourage everyone to see that so that that energy can shift out. We're not here to fight and to have a power struggle. And so it's really important that we tune in and make sure that we stay in alignment in ourselves. But we are here to shine the light on these misaligned energies so that we can see them for what they are. We can be honest with ourselves. If we're not able to actually be honest with what's going on inside of ourselves, we're really going to stay stuck. And so an example I can give you is for myself, if someone says something or something happens that triggers a wound in me, I never will turn around and just point the finger and yell at them and like, they did this to me and how dare them. Whenever that something's going on in me, I tune into myself And I just ask myself, Tanya, what's going on? Like, why did that bother you? Where's that wound coming from? And it's an internal question. And I feel that the person that came along was simply just a teacher, someone to come along and kind of tap that woundedness so that I would be aware of it. And then if I can be aware and not go into defending it, I can allow that energy to surface. I can see it for what it is, often even see an energetic pattern of where it came from, maybe past life, maybe childhood, and then I can forgive and release it and clear it out. And as a healer, that's what I help with. And it's my highest honor to assist with this work for those that are courageous and ready. And I tell you, I have seen nothing but miracles happening for the ones that actually have the courage to face what they need to face. And for those that have not, I just see them live their lives the same. They refuse to do their work. They refuse to look at their situations that are going on, and they continue to create suffering for themselves and others. And so, like I said, we have this opportunity and a choice. And these choices are very important. They're important for your own success and wellness and happiness. They're important for your own evolution. They're important for the evolution of humanity, the evolution of our planet, and the honoring of that. And to me, that's kind of important. It's pretty important to honor our planet. We all share it. It's a home that we all are blessed to dwell upon, and it may be really beneficial for us to start seeing this planet in that way rather than as just something that we can take from and take from. And so I encourage you, I'm going to have a pause here. If any of you have any questions or if you have any comments, maybe you're having a situation or a power struggle in your life right now, and you're kind of curious of how clearing ego could serve you or help you. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
Go ahead and talk to the caller.
Is there someone calling in?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Okay, who's here?
this is
Hello?
Rose.
Is this Rose?
How are you? Yes,
Hi, Rose. How are you?
just seemed like I talked to you just a couple minutes ago.
I know. Actually, Rose, she just interviewed me on her show a little while ago, so it's pretty awesome. I'm like, hey, call in if you have a question. So, Rose, what do you have to share connected to what I'm talking about?
Well, we did discuss a lot of what you're talking about earlier, but I wanted you to elaborate more on the differences between. There's always that fine line that people get really confused on with the ego, and then standing up and holding your healthy boundaries and taking, you know, loving yourself, but not being, egoic about it or, prideful about it. And so a lot of people
Yes.
confuse that. There's a fine line. Can you elaborate more on that for people?
Yes, definitely. I agree. I feel that there is a fine line, and healthy boundaries are very important at this time. Like Rose and I were talking earlier about, we all, well, maybe not all of us, I shouldn't assume that, but many of us have been listening to others talk about the shifts. We maybe are feeling led to come out and talk about the shifts in consciousness. And I feel a big part of the shifting in consciousness that is being presented as an opportunity for us is to clear the ego and to clear the fear. And when we do that, we will step into a place of health. We'll step into our alignment, which means we love ourselves. We are enough. We are good enough. We're worthy right now, and we know that. And so there will be a sense of just a calm, assertive energy. It's kind of like when we talk to people, I think like Cesar Millan, he's the dog whisperer, and he talks about when a person is an alpha or when a dog is an alpha energy is calm and assertive. And so what we do is we step into that space of being alpha leaders and we become calm and assertive, meaning that we enter with courage and confidence, but we're not egotistical. We're not, jumping down people's throats. We're not trying to gloat and seem like we're better than others. We're actually expressing from a place of truth and wisdom, And we don't feel we need to apologize for that truth because there's confidence when we're in that alignment. There's a gentle power there. There's a calm and assertive energy. And so having healthy boundaries is really important because if we want to clear ego and we want to step into that space of self-love, we aren't going to be able to maintain that vibration if we don't honor healthy boundaries. So whether they be for ourselves or others, we need healthy boundaries, meaning, for example, if I vibrationally am around someone and they're very low vibration and they're very negative, they're just talking about the lack, the negative. For me, myself, I will tolerate that so long before I'll just get away from their energy because that energy is just so heavy. I feel it in my body and I can't be around it. It makes me feel sick. So I will first help that person if they feel open to it and address, like, are you aware that you're focusing on the lack? Are you ready to focus on the abundance, on the good? Like, would you like to shift that? Would you like assistance with shifting that? And if they're open, then we can assist them. If they're not and they just want to lash out and keep trying to control, then it would be honoring for ourselves to move away from their energy and love them from a distance. Stepping away doesn't mean we don't love someone. It doesn't mean we don't care. It means that we love ourselves enough to know that that vibration is disrupting our own energy field and that we need to step away and give them space to find their own alignment. And so I feel like it's really important for us to understand. I think Rose and I were talking about how Source has told me that it's important that we are not attached to role and title. And this has come up in my life with loved ones, with family, friends, people that I've had to get away from their energy because, the constant sarcasm or the constant negative talk, it made my stomach sick and I just had to get away. And in the beginning, a lot of these spiritual warriors that are very sensitive, not in a negative way, but you've probably been told that when you bring up awareness of how something feels, like, oh, you're so sensitive, get over it. You need to be tough. And really, there's nothing wrong with you if you're sensitive. It's a gift. If you're sensitive, this is a strength in you. And if you honor that strength with healthy boundaries, you will thrive and you will help others in amazing ways if you have the courage to speak truth. So I think it's really important right away to realize that, don't look at yourself as there's something wrong with you if you're sensitive, if you feel people's stuff, but rather share the wisdom with love and compassion. And if the message is not wanted to be received, if they don't want it and it's rejected, that's okay. You're not in charge of that, but just move away from that vibration and thank your angels for clearing that vibration from you. If this is something, for example, if you keep attracting these kind of people that want to attack you or lash out, there may be a karmic energy that you need to clear or something from a past life that is ready to be cleared vibrationally. And once you can clear that and realize, oh, that person that just came in and attacked me, psychically attacked me and degraded me in front of all my friends, I can see them as a teacher and thank their spirit for coming in to show me something that I needed to be aware of and that needed to be cleared. So, does that kind of make sense, like with the boundaries and how important that is?
Yes, yes. It's just that there were so many people, you and I've experienced, people coming up to us and trying to shoot us down and, call us,
Yes.
egotistic or what have you. And
Yes.
there's a fine line of telling people to love yourself and yet have healthy boundaries without, feeling like you're being too prideful or that
Yes.
you are all that. And so
Yes.
I wanted, you to give your perspective on that because when you explained that earlier when we were talking, I found it very comprehensible, and I wanted you to share that with everybody because I feel it's really important. So thank you so much. I love you so much. I'll let you go now.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, and one of the things that I was talking with Rose about earlier is when I made the decision to come out of the angel closet like a year and a half ago and to lead the shift. I had a lot of amazing things happening, very magical experiences with angels coming to me, and I made the decision to give myself to the light, to serve the higher energy and vibrational energies of consciousness, the angels, the ascended masters, like to really tune into their essence more so than humanity, which doesn't mean that I think I'm superior to humans, but I feel I've always been more connected to these angelic beings and their wisdom. And often the humans around me just, they were lost and they were confused and they were trying to cause me to be lost and confused with them. And it was to the point of violence in my life many times of submit or else. And I feel like many of us have really been challenged with this in their own way. And, I tolerated certain things up to a point in my life and things I will not tolerate any longer. And a big part of that shifting is the self-love. And I feel, when I made my agreement to be very transparent and honest, I, in my essence, am a very grateful being. It's like I'm wired that way. My fiance, he tells me daily how much he loves me because of how grateful I am for everything. Like if he does the simplest thing for me, I just tell him how much I adore him over and over, and it's really because that is who I am. I'm very grateful. I feel appreciation, I feel joy, I feel passion for life, and I feel like this is a gift and a blessing that I'm breathing right now. I don't look at this as something I'm entitled to or, something to just be taken lightly. I feel that life is playful, but we have this beautiful time here and it's sacred and it's, an amazing gift. And if we all could see that, we would live very differently. And one of the things that I brought up about connected to ego that I feel she's referencing was I had put a bio on my Facebook page just, because I was getting ready for an interview with a host and she wanted me to write a bio. So I wrote up just kind of what I felt about myself as a healer, what's led me to that place, and I shared it. And pretty much unanimously, I got nothing but positive feedback. And I got one person though that wrote me a private message that told me, who do you think you are? You're I'm trying to remember the word she used for it now, but basically she said that it seemed as if I was gloating and that my spiritual gifts were gifts and that I should remain humble and that I should not be gloating about my gifts or what my abilities were. And when I like reread my bio and I was just like, I don't see that at all. And so when I was listening to what she said in her words, I was feeling it. And I have a very powerful gift of discernment. I can feel intention when people speak to me. I can feel it in things I read. And what I got was the intention was coming from a place of power, a power play. And I felt this individual was feeling fear and insecurity in herself, in her own gifts. She was feeling inadequacy. And therefore, my speaking so openly and honestly threatened her in some way and caused her to feel that that was gloating. And I wrote her back a private message and just thanked her for her awareness, thanked her for sharing what she saw, but that I felt that if she truly saw me, if she truly felt my vibration, then she would understand that there was nothing gloating about it, that it was just, I just speak truth. I speak calm, confident, clear truth. It's like the calm and assertive energy of the alpha. I don't think I'm better because I enter with that confidence and that alignment. I just know I am connected. I know that I am understanding. I trust my own intuition and I trust the feelings and the vibrations that I'm given because they're always given to me and prove themselves to be spot on. And so I felt like it was a challenge from her to deny myself and to betray myself to please her. And I think that this is something that we all have to be really mindful of is when people come along, whether they're our loved ones, it could be our mother who I don't only say it because I love you. And they may say those words, but what is their vibration telling you? It's time that we stop attaching ourselves to words, whether people are flattering us with their words or they're trying to control us with their words by negatively criticizing us. Either way, it's a form of control. And if we are tuned into our own vibration enough, we can feel and discern an intention, another's intention. And it's important that we start to really tune into that vibrationally, because people do use words to control each other all the time. And I feel personally, I don't have anything to apologize for in my confidence or in my connection. I feel I'm very humble. I feel grateful and humble about everything in my life. Yet, it doesn't mean that I don't feel powerful. And I think that what's shifting for us is that as we embody this feminine energy and we're allowing that feminine receptive energy to rise, we are coming back to a place of honoring the intuition, of honoring our psychic knowing, of um, allowing and receiving the goodness. And this is not what we're familiar with or comfortable with as far as humanity is concerned. This is pretty new. And so some people will feel threatened by that. They'll feel a little bit insecure about the fact that you could walk in so calm, cool, and collected, because internally they don't feel that calmness. They don't feel that centeredness and that connection. So it's important that we don't let their misalignment trigger the same within ourselves. But I do feel it's important to speak truth. And so, like with this individual, which I send love to this person because she's a loving being, and she had her moment, and I sent love and truth to her with the highest intention to help her and to show her, this is who I am and I'm okay. I don't really need to be saved or need to be scolded because I'm shining. And I feel like we all have so much room to improve on our feeling that we have a right to shine. I'm from like childhood on, some of us were encouraged to shine, but many were not. Many were told, dim that light, it's too bright. You need to just calm it down because you make me uncomfortable. Your excitement, your enthusiasm and passion, it's too much. You need to calm it down. And I really feel personally that we should not dim our light for anyone. We are not here to dim our lights. We're here to shine, and we're here to encourage each other to shine. And so, Spirit tells me that often, to just maintain my own alignment and vibration, to keep soaring, to keep shining, because I will give hope to others who dare to do the same. And that some, when that's happening, can feel very threatened, especially those close to you. Like if you have family members that they see you evolving, but they aren't evolving, they're not going with that expansion and that shift, it can feel very threatening to them, and their own fears that they have about that expansion, they will try to project upon you. So be mindful that you don't take others' fears personally, and really learn to discern that. Like, is this a fear that I'm feeling internally? Is this like a true warning in my intuition kind of guiding me? Or is this someone projecting their fear and their worry on me in an attempt to control me or to stifle my growth? It's kind of like throwing a lasso over the horse and pulling them down. And we do it, and then we say it's because we love each other. And we have so much room for expansion in our awareness of what love is. I have not met very many humans that understand what love is. And I feel like we have a lot of room to improve on that. The way Source shows me, love it's an unconditional energy, and it is without attachment. We don't need to latch on to people and be codependently attached to them. An example of that is, many of us have been taught to be a good mother or a good wife or a good friend means we need to be taking responsibility for everybody's stuff. And if they've got something going on, we need to go rescue them. Or, oh, how could you let that happen to your child? Like, you're their mother. You should have done something. And I say this kind of joking, but it's no joking matter. I mean, this is an energy issue on the planet that's caused a lot of suffering and is continuing to. And it's really important that we understand that all spiritual beings are free. And if we understand we're free, then all spiritual beings are free. No one belongs to us. We don't belong to anyone. even our most beloved is a gift, and we will choose to align with our beloved and join our energies, or we will choose to separate and move in different directions if that connection no longer serves us. And so really, like if you're looking at your child as something you own, like a possession, that's my child, my daughter, that's my man, if we're looking at things in that way, that's right there is your first step of misalignment that will continue to cause um, disruption in your life. So if we can really love others without attachment, and we can honor them, honor their boundaries, honor their journey, allow them to flow in whatever ways. It may be for some that they are on a path that feels really negative to us and that we are concerned for them, but we can send them love and energy from a distance as they find their way. We don't need to go in there and try to control and make them go in a certain direction. And some souls really need to get their butts kicked to learn. It's just, we've all had our own way that we come to a place of understanding. And for some of us, if we're very stubborn, we really have to go the rough route to learn the lesson. And for others, someone could just share wisdom, and they're open enough and intuitive enough to thank them and say, thank you for that wisdom. That saved me a butt kicking. So I'm appreciative. But basically, we all have these opportunities to just clear that ego and clear that sense of superiority or inferiority within us. And as we do that, we will no longer look at each other in that way. We won't look at each other through those eyes. I feel the way I see the world, I look out of these eyes of such love and reverence for all life, the animals, the plants, the people. It's all beautiful and important. And there's just a reverence there. And I look for the highest good in all souls. I truly want the best for them. And as a teacher and a healer, as a mother, a wife, a friend, I set my intention to always honor that and to shine the light and help challenge those who Spirit leads into my life to understand that alignment and to really live with that freedom. However, if you're freshly coming into this place, you may not always be supported by the people that have been around you. If you've been around a lot of lower vibrational beings and you're awakening, chances are when you first start setting your healthy boundaries and you start taking a stand and you're clearing ego and you're coming from a place of confidence and connection with Source, you may not always be supported. And so it's important that you know your connection with Source, that you do meditate and connect daily and remember who you are, because often those humans, they're going to be in fear because something's changing and they don't like that change. They're threatened by that change. They are comfortable with ego. They're comfortable with victimization or someone dominating them and telling them what to do. And you giving them choices and freedom and space can feel really foreign to them. And so I think it's kind of a place where we can offer our compassion and our patience as this is shifting and these energies are expanding. And it's really important that we honor our own alignment and our own boundaries as that happens and not cater and enable. And so
Tawnya.
Yes. Sorry, you scared me. Go ahead. I was
I'll
like,
try.
is that you, Source?
There's a long statement here. I'll try to read it without coughing.
Okay, you're fine.
Eileen is saying, I was lashed out at it a couple of weeks ago when they felt I was not on their side. Instead of eternalizing or believing the lies or negative thinking projected onto me, I chose to release, stand up for myself, and say no. I realized it was not me, but them who was struggling with their own issues. And then I took the time to heal and process the toxicity and practiced just letting it all go. And now I'm choosing to love myself, to love and forgive them, and to send healing to all involved, knowing that in time all will be healed.
Yes. That's beautiful, Eileen. And that is such a beautiful way that you handled that. That's alignment right there, is that you understand that this energy that's happening is not about you, but that you are threatening and scaring those that feel that they knew you because you're evolving and maybe they're not ready to. But if we don't take that personal and then we can send them love from a distance, and the toxic part you talked about being clearing that toxic energy is so important. We could do a whole show on that actually. But basically, when we're very empathic and we're around low vibrational beings that are psychically attacking us, an empath feels that as if they're being stabbed and stabbed in their solar plexus and their heart chakra. I know for myself, if I have someone screaming at me or lashing out, not only is the emotional part, you know, upsetting, but in my energy, in my physical body, I feel like stabbing in my solar plexus and my heart chakra, and it's really painful. So I feel that the clearing and getting away from that energy is so vital, and it's something that we must address because if we stay, I make a reference kind of like with a plant. So if we can imagine we have a plant in our garden, and every day someone's pouring chemicals on that plant, and they're poisoning that plant, and it's like withering, and then through the end of the day, it's like, oh, okay, finally the toxic energy's gone. I think I can be okay, and it starts to kind of try to grow again. But then there's more toxic chemicals poured on the plant. It's going to be really hard for that plant to thrive in that environment because every day something's trying to kill the plant. So when you look at yourself and you look at your own life, look at the environments that you've co-created with Source. Like look at what environment you're sitting in right now and ask yourself, why are you? If it's a loving environment, awesome. But if it's toxic and you feel sick just going there, you feel uncomfortable and tense being around those beings or in that environment, ask yourself why you feel you're not enough to clear out of there. Because when it comes down to it, it is your question, it is your journey. And when you understand that you're worth something and you're valuable, you will scoop that plant of your life up and you'll go plant it in fertile soil. And you'll make sure that any energies you invite in will be energies that support and nurture your soul and nurture your spirit so that you can grow and thrive. And I feel that, like, truly, we could do a whole show on that because it's so important that we are not attaching to role and title. We're not attaching to environments, to people. As she stated, Eileen stated that these were people close to her and they turned on her because she didn't agree with something that they were about. And that's what a lot of controllers do. A controller energy wants to cause you to feel insecure and afraid so that you will do what they say and submit. And they're doing that because they are out of control. They are out of control. They are completely operating from fear. And we need to stop following them. Anyone in that energy is not an alpha leader. An alpha leader would never project control and push their way. They will encourage a direction and they will join you in a direction. They will assist you in understanding. They will not try to lash out at you to make you submit. And so it's really important that we pay attention to that. And I feel that the only ways controller energies can even exist is when we have an enabler. And so whenever you look, you can look at relationships that are very toxic. You can look at families that are toxic, work environments. Pay attention. If there's a controller, there's an enabler, or maybe many enablers. And in order to get rid of that controller energy, the enablers have to wake up. It's kind of like the whole Alcoholics Anonymous, AA. If you have the alcoholic that has the issue and they're, aggressive and lashing out and they're creating all this chaos from their drinking problem, then you have the enablers who buy their alcohol or who just, protect them and tell everyone, oh, don't get mad. He's just, upset today. They protect, or she is. It's not a he, she thing. It's anyone. But basically, we need to be mindful that we are not being an enabler of misalignment. So anything in your life, if you feel you're being controlled, lashed out at, why are you tolerating that? That is your question. Because if we're to evolve and shift anything, whether it's our work environments, our relationships, the planet, we have to start challenging the misalignment. And challenge doesn't feel good to those that are out of alignment. It doesn't feel good to the ones sleeping. It feels really scary, but it doesn't matter. Our light is here to shine for a reason. We're here to move in a new direction, and we need to shine that light brightly and confidently without apology, but with compassion and with love and gentleness, and be patient as well. I think don't get too in a rush for everything to evolve. Evolution takes time, it's a process. And so we need to be patient as this is all happening for everybody, but we are not meant to enable any longer. So if you're a mother and your child's throwing a tantrum at the grocery store tomorrow and wanting that candy, what would an aligned mother do? For me, my perspective, she would not give them what they want in that energy, because in that energy, you are basically going to raise baby controllers. One day, you just helped birth a new controller because you enabled that. You enabled their misalignment. They're throwing tantrums and fits and trying to dominate the energy, and then you give them a reward for it. So we need to really pay attention to every level of that. If we have a spouse that's throwing a fit and trying to control us into a direction and we don't feel that's in alignment, our intuition tells us to go in another direction, we need to start honoring that rather than, cater to that one that's out of alignment and try to make that person feel that, oh, these ideas are theirs so that we can trick them. All these mind games and emotional games that happen will go away when we stop catering to ego, when we stop enabling the misaligned ones. So we really need to watch that. And in ourself, like I said, we can't control the world or make the world change, but we can change ourselves. We can shift ourselves. We can no longer tolerate abuse. We can choose to no longer cater to misalignment and enable anyone that's out of alignment. That's powerful, because think of if every one of you listening today really gets that and shifts that. Think of how powerful that's going to be for everybody in your life that you're going to interact with. You're going to encourage that by mirroring that example to them. You're going to mirror this alignment, and it's going to help others that are ready to step in and do the same. So don't underestimate the power of your alignment and the power of your shifting. And really, that is your work. It is not your responsibility what others do. Our responsibility is our own shift, and then we share and shine our light from that space of alignment, where that's really the way that we're here to do it. So is there any other questions or comments today?
Well, Eileen is saying also, I was so hurt and angry at first, but then I was able to feel compassion and realize that it happened for a reason. It was a very unhealthy relationship pattern that has been existing for quite some time, and it finally manifested itself in an, unfortunately, more dramatic toxic scenario where it finally got released. It was all very necessary in the end. Not all necessary in the end. I still love her, but a long break is healthiest. And then she finishes with, she says, no more martyrdom now.
Yes. Thank you. No more martyrdom. Exactly. That's beautiful. And yeah, I feel like that's such great awareness. Really, when you understand you can love another and you can release them, and you can thank them. Like, you can see that that negative experience that was so painful actually was a gift. And that's what a lot of the violence and the negativity is doing to us. It's waking us up. It's causing us to really look through different eyes and to seek a different direction, to seek a new solution rather than the old ways. So that's just beautiful awareness on Eileen's part, to see that and to also feel a reverence for the experience, because everything is happening to us for a reason, and we really need to stay present with that. And again, if we're not trying to run from life or control life, we can pay attention to everything, every opportunity that comes, give it reverence and give it honor, and realize it's here happening now for a reason. And sometimes those painful situations are happening to evolve you, because you wouldn't listen to the subtle stuff. You wouldn't listen to the little things. So now a big hurricane just came in to encourage you to move in a new direction. So that's great awareness. And yes, we're here to clear that martyrdom. The martyrdom is connected to ego. Anything that's saying that you're less than, you're not enough, a lot of that's what's I think causes a lot of struggle for healers as far as their abundance and their manifesting goals is that there's just a deep, heavy energy of martyrdom that's been taught to us that if we're to be spiritual and we're to be connected to God, that we're to be martyrs and we should just give everything away and move and be gypsies. And you can do that if you want to, but that is not necessary. To be aligned with source is something that we just understand. It's not even a career. It's we are one with source and we understand it and we choose to listen to our own alignment from that space of trust, and there's no martyrdom there. It's complete worthiness and deservability. You deserve the best. You are worthy. You are capable beings. You're powerful and you're love. And when you really wake up and know that, everything will change for each of you. And for me, that is what I am having the most joyous life, living that alignment, but also the opportunities to teach workshops and to assist as a life coach and a intuitive healer, a yoga teacher. Everything I do when I teach art class, it doesn't matter. It's all to help connect to source and to remember the beauty of our reason for being and to really live it with joy and purpose. So I wish you all the best, and I hope today's discussion helped you all in some personal way to feel more trust in yourself, more love for yourself, and that you will be very mindful of stimulating ego within yourself or in others, and have the courage to speak up. When you sense that energy happening, have the courage to speak up about it and to carry the torch, carry the light on everything and shine it brightly without apology. And just I'm excited to see the world we're creating right now through all this alignment. It's just going to be awesome. So let us just hold that vision together of this new earth that we're creating, that we're calling forth through our aligned vision, through our aligned intention and our love. And let's just not even give much energy or talking about the old way anymore, unless we're just making a reference to what we learned. Be mindful that we're not discussing too much about the past and the negative. Just keep our focus on what we're calling in. And laws of attraction are assisting us right now with that manifestation. So thank you all so much for calling in. If any of you would like help and spiritual assistance, feel free to reach me at my website, which is TanyaAngel555.com. Also, I don't know if all the links are here anymore, but you can also find me on Facebook under Tawnya Love, and I post most of my events there. But yeah, I would love to serve and assist you. If you've been summoned here, don't underestimate why, and remember your power. And today it's funny, right before I started the show, I drew a divine guidance card, and before even drawing it, I had a feeling it was going to be Earth Angel. And this is just confirmation for the psychic gifts that are just totally becoming my normal. The card that I drew was Earth Angel, and this is a message for all of you. I asked Source to bring a card that would be helpful to all of you listening. So it says, you truly are an Earth Angel. It is time to recognize and honor the beautiful spirits that you are. Once we are incarnated, we forget who and what we truly are. Now is your time to remember. Claim your wings, knowing that you really do make a difference in the lives that you touch. You have many loving angelic beings with you to support you on your divine path, and feel safe in allowing yourself to follow the path that you are guided to walk. Whatever that path may be, you are ready to spread your wings and fly. So it's time to fly, guys, and I will hold up the card just so you can see what it looks like. Actually, maybe get a little bit closer. So anyway, that is the Earth Angel card, and that's Spirit's message for you today. And I thank you all for tuning in. I hope you will tune in next Monday at 4 p.m. as well. And feel free to write me or call me with questions, or if you'd like to have an angelic auric clearing, contact me. This month I have a special where anybody that purchases a auric clearing gets a second clearing for half price. So that goes to the end of March, and you can use the second clearing whenever you need to or give it to a loved one. If you have questions about that, contact me at my website, and I will be happy to help you. I thank you all so much for your time and for your connection, your questions, and your comments. Thank you, and namaste.
tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, The Tawnya Love Show, Reawaken Your Brilliance with Julie Seibert, and if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by Atomus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals. ThatVidBlasterGuy.com, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.